Little extra ding-a-linging there. Hey, Cal Banyan here, Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. So glad to be back with you for another fun, interesting, and informative hypnosis video for you. Every stinking week, we put out another video. We've put out like 450 of these hypnosis training videos, each one filled with a nugget or two or three that you can use in your work tomorrow, the next day, the next week, with a client, or as you are building your hypnosis practice. Let's see here. I'm back with Brenda once again. Brenda Titus. Let me tell you about Brenda. Brenda just provides such an interesting perspective for me because I've been around for a long time, and I kind of get geezeritis and looking at things in the same old way. But I have someone like Brenda that comes along. She's also got a background in talk therapy, or so to speak. She's got a bachelor's in sociology, a master's degree in criminology, and then we brought her over to the world of hypnosis full time, and she's just been a great addition to our office, and we've watched her grow. She's speaking in our classes. She's speaking at the convention. She's received the 5-Path Leadership Award. Now she's becoming board certified. We're just so proud of her. She's just great. How you doing, Brenda?
Thank you, Cal, for that wonderful introduction, and thank you so much for having me. I owe a lot to everything that I've learned from you and how you have encouraged me along my path as my career. So I'm very happy to be here to introduce you to our audience today. So Cal Banyan is the Hypnosis Celebrity Hypnosis Authority. He has received almost every award in the profession bestowed by the most important organization, the National Guild of Hypnotists. And Cal's books, Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy and The Secret Language of Feelings, have truly made him one of the leaders in the profession and one of those trainers who teaches in exactly that, hypnosis that works. And Cal is the trainer of some of the best of the profession. He's one of those people that experts in the profession go to for guidance, for education, for leadership. And he's, of course, still teaching several times a year. He's still speaking at the convention and various other places, writing, seeing clients, making appearances, and obviously as the creator of 5-Path Hypnotherapy, he's definitely had an impact on my career because I took the training a few years ago, got started in my practice, started as a 5-pather, and immediately went on to have some really great success with my clients. And now that I'm feeling solid in some of my work with my clients, actually it's kind of neat. We're talking today about what is our career path, and what we want to do with our careers, because the sky's the limit, right, Cal?
Absolutely. We've got such an interesting career field, profession here. You could, in most places, you could be the lone hypnotist, totally self-educated, totally uncredentialized. And you know what? You could be a pretty good hypnotist, and you could, maybe make a pretty good living. But because of the efforts of our organization and the National Guild of Hypnotists organization, that we've really begun to pave the way so that you can have a career path. And the reason we're talking about this is because there's so many hypnotists that just aren't aware of where they can go from here. Isn't that right, Brenda?
It is. We just think clients, but there's so much more, isn't there?
Well, exactly right. But there's nothing at all wrong with saying, you know what, I love seeing clients, I'm going to see clients, and I'm going to get my initial certification, and I'm just going to be good at that, and that's wonderful. But and we say just going to see clients as if that was not something great and fabulous. It is great, and it is fabulous, and you're helping people, and that the changes you help these clients make, they resonate through the family and the community, and it's a wonderful thing. But as Brenda can tell you, who's someone, she's not aspiring to be a trainer, even though I make her do some teaching in our class, which she does an excellent job at. She's mainly client-centered. And with that, she took a look at her career development. And what did I say? She's in the process of becoming board certified. You want to talk a little bit about why that is, why you made that step?
Sure. Well, and actually, one of the things that I like to think about is how we inspire each other here in this profession and a lot of the colleagues that I have. And quite frankly, it hadn't occurred to me to do any advanced certification after I started, working here. I started, like we said, see clients. I'm really fortunate that I get to support Cal in some of the work that he does in training other hypnotists, and obviously being on this podcast. And I have some writing projects and things like that I get to do. But last year when we were at the convention, Erica said, well, I'm going to do the board certification. And I kind of looked at her and was like, what? Huh? And so now I realize how valuable doing some advanced certification really steps up your own game, because it challenges you to learn, challenges you to be very clear about what you know, how you present yourself to your clients, how your business is ethical, your success rate, and things like that. So last year when Erica did her board certification, I said, well, I can look into that and see. And really what is neat about board certification with the National Guild of Hypnotists, it's a very large organization, but I really felt that by going through this process, it encouraged me to take my profession a little bit more seriously. And I take it very seriously. This is my full-time job. But I just kind of thought, you know what? This will help me kind of guide some of my additional training, my additional learning opportunities, my growth. And I have to tell you that this last year, since I decided to go through the process of board certification, it did help me be a lot more clear with what my career path is, what my goals are, making sure that my practice is very ethical, that it's very solid, that I'm presenting myself professionally, that I'm presenting myself as a leader within our profession, as well as presenting my practices in a very ethical way. And so I'm really proud of the work that I did to prepare, because like I said, it is work. There's an exam. I think we're in there for 3 hours. There's an interview. So how you present yourself, professionally in a environment, in person. We have an article, a 1,000-page article. So they're looking at how you present yourself in writing. They look at your brochures, your paperwork, your websites to be sure that you are top notch, and they also actually have you submit letters of recommendation, so how you are viewed professionally by other hypnotists or people in the community. So it's actually a very well-rounded process, and I'm really proud of the work that I did to go through that process, and I'm really proud of the 24 other people that sat for their board certification this summer at the 2015 NGH convention. And I really want to point that number out, because it is a small group of people, and I really encourage everybody out there. I know that only 25 people did the exam, but I know we have at least 2,500 viewers out there. And I really want to challenge you. Maybe it's board certification where you'd like to find ways to advance what you're doing in the profession. Maybe there's some other things that Cal and I are going to talk about, but I would be happy to support anybody who is out there in going through that board certification process, because like I said, it really truly stepped up how I view the work that I do and how I do it. I could see myself, even actually since the exam, some things had come up that I knew was a little bit of an ethics challenge, and I handled it very differently than I would have a year ago. So I really just highly recommend that process to anybody who is interested in advancing themselves within our profession. So how's that, Cal?
And you made a kind of a public commitment to do that on our social network, Our Hypnospace.
I did. On January 1st, I realized, I needed a little bit of extra public accountability, and so I did create that group, and I publicly posted, every week what I was up to. And actually, I highly, highly recommend that people go and take a look at that if you are interested in becoming board certified. And if somebody is interested in taking that over for 2016, I I will give you some advice and some guidance, because I have to tell you, there were some things that we talked about there on that group that is the reason that I believe that I will be successful. There was many tips, many pieces of information that I was able to, and avenues to study, and then having that support system. I had a couple of people who then I had that support system with through that weekend preparing for the exam, that just really boosted my confidence and helped me. So like I said, that page is available on our Hypnospace page. It's the Board Certification Accountability Group. You can take a look at that, and then I encourage somebody to start a new 2016 accountability group for next year.
Awesome. Yes, you'll be passing the torch, won't you?
Oh, yes.
That's awesome. So that, you see, Brenda's committed to a career path that's right for her. We could also look at Erica. You guys all know Erica, and you know Celeste. They decided for their next part of their career path was to become trainers. And as 5-pathers, the next step up to become a trainer is to become a Certified Professional Hypnosis Instructor, CPHI, which we call CPHI. And that enables you to teach our programs. After you've gone through our programs, like our 10-day certification course, and then you've gone and seen a certain number of clients, and you've built that kind of reputation with us, that we would then invite you to apply to become an instructor. Now, some very special things about our instructors program that surpasses everything else out there is that in addition to just being able to add that credential, you also get to teach 5-path, which is an amazing thing. If you become certified in some other organization, you can't teach 5-path. You can't teach 7-path. The other thing is, I teach you personally. I teach you how to train. And who's Cal Banyan besides a guy that's on the video screen? I've been in Certified Instructor of the Year twice for the National Guild of Hypnotists, Educator of the Year, President's Award, Charles Tebbett's Award. I'm someone that's recognized as both a leader and a trainer. And I will personally train you to do that, to teach the course, and then provide you ongoing guidance as you teach the course. Another thing that you get by becoming a certified professional hypnosis instructor through the Banyan organization is you get to also provide training materials to your students. Nobody else does that. When people go through your class, they will want to take the material home with them. So in addition to having the income from teaching the class, you also have an income from providing your students with ongoing training materials, which they will want. That is a big part of the bridge from going from the classroom to seeing clients. So certified professional hypnosis instructor. Then the next thing is, just like Brenda is going from certified hypnotist or consulting hypnotist to board certified hypnotist, our trainers go from certified professional hypnosis instructors to accredited certified professional hypnosis instructors. And to do that, they've had to taught a certain number of classes, graduate a certain number of students. We look at their feedback forms. We look at their history as far as how well they've worked with us, and I actually have them videotape part of their teaching so that I can evaluate it to make sure they're up to stuff. So where are you in your career? When you join an organization or you select a trainer, is there a career path, or do they just teach you and let you go? So when you join us, you have this double possibility as far as growing in the profession. You have the support of the Banyan Hypnosis Center and the NGH, the career path that's being laid before you of the Banyan Hypnosis Center and the National Guild of Hypnotists. Now, more about the National Guild of Hypnotists, as you begin to be recognized for what you're doing, speaking at the convention, contributing to maybe the journal or the hypnogram, and otherwise being involved in the organization, you can become a fellow. And this is a title that's given to people in organizations that say, this is someone who's special in our organization, contributing all the time, helping the membership, helping the profession, and you become an FNGH, Fellow of the National Guild of Hypnotists. Then As you continue to distinguish yourself, you can become a DNGH, Diplomate of the National Guild of Hypnotists. Now, at present, I'm proud to say that I am a FNGH. I am a Diplomate of the National Guild of Hypnotists also. There's only about 16 in the world, and I'm proud to be one of those. Now, what does this do? When you are a certified hypnotist, board certified hypnotist, a trainer, when you are a fellow of the National Guild of Hypnotists, when you are a diplomate of the National Guild of Hypnotists, or as I mentioned in our last episode, both Celeste Hackett and Maureen Banyan, my wife, were both entered into the Order of Braid, one of the highest recognitions of the National Guild of Hypnotists. And when you have these accomplishments, it's not just wall candy. It's not just something to decorate your office with. When people are seeking someone to do sessions with, when they're seeking someone to get training with, who are they going to select? The teacher or the student? The authority or someone that's just, been doing it for a number of years? These recognitions help people to recognize who you are as someone that they would want to work with, either as a client or a student. Anything you want to add to that, Brenda?
I think that's just a great way to, as you're talking about that, I'm thinking back to my former profession, and one of the big things that people would say as they were leaving was there was no opportunity for advancement. There was nowhere to grow. And I think that that's one of the really neat things about our profession is that your ability to advance within the profession, to advance within your capacity, your growth, it's on you, and so I'm glad that we were able to talk about some of those ways, that those levels of distinction. One of the really great ways to get started is to submit a presentation for the convention. That is one of the best things that I'm so pleased. 2 years ago, Cal challenged me. He said, do it for next year, and again, it wouldn't have occurred to me, and I got to submit. I submitted, and I've gotten to present now twice at the NGH convention, and it just helps you again. Some of it's your own confidence, but it radiates out through everywhere. Helps you become a leader. As you teach, you also learn, plus you're helping other people grow. But then again, it all goes back to, it does impact your ability to see clients as well, because as you're a leader in this profession, that shows, either because you're acknowledged or just in the way that you then carry yourself. So definitely, I know it's going to be, 'tis the season to submit your NGH convention presentations for 2016 very soon. So please sit down and take that into consideration as well.
Awesome. Okay, wrap it up.
All right. Well, think about this, everybody. How do you want to grow in the coming year? How do you want to grow in your profession? Get yourself on your path. We do this for our clients all of the time. We help them get on their path for their growth, for their success, for their confidence, for their abilities. But I want you to take a little bit of time and remember that just as much as your client's growth is important, your growth is important too, because it goes right back to how your clients are going to be to grow as well. So think about that. Think about what your goals are. Hope that we've inspired you today to be thinking about that. Set that intention and put it out there, and then make it happen. And have a great week. I can be reached again at ochypnotherapy.com or Brenda at ochypnotherapy.com. I'm also on our Hypnospace as Brenda Titus, and over at the Hypnotist Lounge at our Hypnospace as well. And you can also find me on Facebook at OC Hypnotherapy. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, Brenda. Hey, and you guys, if you're watching this anywhere besides calbanyan.com, you want to go there right now, because in addition to what you just saw, there's additional supporting text, links, images, that kind of thing. Become a VIP member, get instant access to our 450 podcasts so far. And get notified every week when we put out a new one. I want to see you in class. Our next class coming up in October. But if you're watching this next year or the year after that or 5 years from now, you can always get our schedule on calbanyan.com. All right, that's it. We hope to see you in class. Cal Banyan, signing off. This recording is the property of Cal Banyan and the Banyan Hypnosis Center for Training and Services, Incorporated. All rights reserved, for private use only, may not be duplicated without permission. For contact information, go to www.hypnosiscenter.com.